Hey, family in the building, rocking with your boy, man. Today the quesos were dead, and I was pretty much rushing on trying to get it done. But we back on the 82 Impala. We got it done. We got the transmission up in there. I put a little fluid in it to make sure it moved. We got the stall converter in. I got the lines ran up to the radiator. That's gonna be the next thing I gotta check for and make sure I don't have a leak. But so far, let me get you up under here. I'm gonna start it up, click it in the gear. So far, we got action. So now all I gotta do Monday, I'm gonna take my measurements tonight. And after I do the measurements, I'll be able to go get the dry shaft cut in. But I'm gonna fire it up real quick. Let me find the keys. I'm gonna fire it up. We're gonna click it in gear. And so far, it's looking so good. That thing is moving back and forth. Tomorrow, I might come out and hook up the shift cable. While I, when I drop the dry shaft off to have them do what they do, I'll probably install that shift cable up in here. But let me turn the key and we're gonna get up under here. We got it fired up. Now we can see, I'm gonna click that thing in gear. We spinning. Put converter in. Everything is in, so now it's gonna be a matter of getting the dry shaft. Get this thing cut off. Hold on, let me. That thing talk that talk. But anyway, without further ado, we got the transmission up in this thing. It was a little battle. I didn't have enough time to get the camera set up to show you the process, but I did drop a video pulling it out. Tomorrow's mission is trying to get this over to the shop to see about getting it cut. Now I'm gonna grab the tape measure the distance from the front to the rear. We're gonna see what's happening, man. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, see what we got going on, because we are going to get Big Baby set up to go out there on the track to have fun. Tomorrow, I gotta hook up the shifter, and there's some other stuff that I should have with this. It's probably already in the car, but it goes with the gear linkage and setup, stuff like that. So I'm probably gonna have to find that stuff, and we're gonna get it down in the car. But rock with your boy, see what we got going on. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, because we in here. Crew in the building, rocking with me. We was out here late last night, made a quick little video, got the transmission up in there, got that raggedy 700R up out of there. That's designed for cruising, it ain't designed for taking off like a plane. But Big Baby, we have the transmission in there. As you're gonna see the video I'm gonna post right before this one. We made sure it moved and everything. I'm gonna drain the fluid back out of it a little bit later. And then right now what we gotta do, I have this drive shaft I gotta take down the drive line one. I believe I'm gonna take my old one also, because it's a universal joint on the back that I need. Let me get I might be able to use my head unit light. But right now I gotta get some measurements wrote down. I got them in the house on the paperwork on exactly what I gotta measure to. I called this morning and checked so I can have the right drive shaft. But what I discovered is with the, look up under here, see if we got any leaks. Look like we looking darn good. Sorry to get off the subject, but you know, it's fluid in here, and I was checking to see if anything had leaked out or everything is looking dry as it's supposed to be. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. Here's the dry shaft that came out of the 700R. What I'm going to have to do, you can see up in there, I'm gonna have to pour that yoke out and take it down there. And I guess they designed one that's a slip yoke to go up in there. But the other horrible news is I think I gotta take the tail housing off and then remove some sort of O-ring that's in the tail housing But not only on top of that, I got to get the dry shaft measured. So what I'm going to do is pour that off, get the dry shaft measured, and get down there with both of these, drop them off. Meanwhile, when I come back up here, what we're going to do is try to get the gear shift down in the car, because I do have that. I got to make a hole in the floor. I got some tools I got from Harbor Freight that I have not even used yet that are still in the plastic. So, hey, today might as well be that day. Let me see. I found my other pieces that I needed that were upstairs, but this right here is the shift cable that we're about to go on that transmission with. It does have a part number on there. I might list it, I might not. Who knows? If somebody comments and they want to know what it is, I might let them know what the part numbers are. And that's about pretty much all we got to do for now. So what I'm going to do is get these kids dropped off, get the queso checked in. We're going to get over here to drive line 1. I'm going to probably bring a queso down. I got charged them up last night and pulled this tail shaft or tail yoke out real quick and see what we got to deal with. Because if this other yoke slides up in here, this little slip yoke on the old transmission, I might try to put that on there and see if it got enough playroom around it and that seal and see what we could do. But stay tuned. We about to figure it out. This is measurement. You need to measure from there. Let me see. If I could get this accomplished. Take one of these off. That's sitting there. Let's see what we can do. Get my headlight on. Get a measurement from here to the very tip. We're at all right. As you're gonna see on the queso, we took a trip down to Drive Line 1. Figured, you do business with somebody so long, you think you might get a decent deal, which it probably was a decent deal, but it was a price that I didn't like. Nevertheless, this is gonna be a budget completion. They didn't. I feel like he was trying to upsell me on some stuff. So this is why when you want to do something on a budget, you do research, a lot of research, ask questions, get numbers, look stuff up. I went down there, brought a dry shaft that was longer, so to be cheaper to shorten. Brought the slip yoke that I needed, so I wouldn't have to be sold one. Okay, that was two things I was trying to eliminate, two prices I was trying to eliminate. But when I got down there, before I went down there, I did research to make sure everything that I had would work, which it did, but I kept my mouth closed. Walked in the door, asked the guy, I need to get this dry shaft shortened, and I got the yoke for the end to go up in there, everything like that. Cool. He started looking up everything. Price is going to be exactly what I think it's going to be, but then he started to mumble out, I got to get two adapter ends to put on here and, two universal ends because it's going to be universal. And then this end that I got, it's the only one that's going to work. This one that I got right here, blase skip, mind you, the only one that's going to work. I did my research. But anyway, I'm still quiet. I'm just listening to him. He tell me what the bill is. This is $300. So I came to get a dry shaft shortened, and now you're telling me I need two ends and this special end that you got that's going to work. But, okay, nevertheless, how much is it going to be just to get it shortened or whatever? Minus that end. I got this end, I'll make this one work. Oh, I still got to put the universal ends on there, to make it work, cut that off, blah, skip, blah, 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 blah. $190. Okay. So, as I know, they make ends that for the universal joints that adapt to the actual end that you need. I left the store. What I'm going to do now is, matter of fact, let's go in here and go on a walk. And I'm going to show you what my game plan on what I'm going to do to make sure I'm not buying the whole slab of ribs, because I actually just want a couple rib tips. I don't want the whole slab. So we're going to break it down so we can only get rib tips, because I refuse to do that. That's not making sense to me. And I feel like I'm trying to be upsold on some stuff that I don't have to be upsold on. It's a little frustrating, which I understand. Let me get my light on real quick. It's a little frustrating when people try to upsell you and sell you a bunch of extra stuff that you don't need. But the research that I did, check diameters. I researched a 4L 80, 4L 60 yoke, or 4L 80 yoke and a 400 turbo yoke. Happens to be the same. So boom. What I'm going to do to be all the way sure, I'm going to pull this off. I'm going to count the teeth in there, clean them up, count the teeth in the one that I did get off of the 400 turbo to make sure all of that is the same. Then what I'm going to do is measure this. I may cut a little bit off. I may not cut a little bit off. But I know in order for it to work, there's an O-ring, they say, that's up in the back of the transmission that has to be removed. That's a couple bolts. I can pull the tail shaft housing off, remove that O-ring. If I need to foul it down a little bit so the yoke goes over it, it's going to work no problem. That's actually going to cost me nothing. So then The game plan after that, seeing that I'll be able to get this cut off, put up in there, and do what I need to do. All I need, I'm gonna make sure I don't tear up this universal joint. I'm gonna take that with me, and I'm gonna buy that one individual universal joint. Then on the back side, back here, this just needs to be shortened. What I'm going to do, I'm gonna take this universal joint out, measure it, see what the diameter of the universal joint is of that. This is the original one that was in the back of my car. So I'm going to get the one that goes from this diameter and has this diameter on the outside. Very simple. Done it before in the past. Pay for that universal joint. Now all I need you to do is put me that same end on there. Those two universal ends that you were trying to sell me, don't need them. Because I'm going to keep this same end on here doing, to the simple fact that I'm using the same setup. I'm going to use this same end, and I'm going to use that same end. So we don't need that extra upselling that you're trying to do, my man. Give me a universal joint, and then all I'll be spending is the money for you to cut this drive shaft. Because if you tell me a crazy price for the universal joints, I'll just get the part number and order them off Amazon and wait. But this is where I'm at when it comes down to a budget build. I refuse to be upsold on something, but if there's another way that it can be done, I'm going to do my research and find out. So if this does work out that way, as you can see, this car is up on jack stands right now. Transmission, everything is in the car, everything's set up, ready to go. This is the final key piece to the puzzle. I'm going to do what I just planned on doing, and in the midst that this car drives out of here and go down the road, you'll see I did, a budget build. I'm not spending all that money. We don't have to do that. Like I told you, it was going to be $300, and after tax, probably $320. Who knows what the tax is going to be? So during the $300 something dollars, I'm going to show you what I'm about to cut it down to, how cheap I am, and I'm going to, put the receipts up there on what the universal joint costs, what it costs to get it cut, and all of that. But right now, what I'm going to try to find out if the splines of this is the same. So we're going to try to get these universal joints pushed out of here. I got a tool in here that I haven't used before, and I think I am going to use it now because I really don't want to. Man, it's breezy out here. I might have to go get another propane tank, but I don't want to beat on the end of there. Like the way my dad used to go when I was a kid, I see him take the end off and he'll just beat it and, knock it off of there. But I ordered certain tools. I know I got one in here somewhere. Just got to find the special tool. Got a special tool for bingo. So, get this light off. We're going to get this tool over in here. And hopefully it gets the job done without me doing too much beating. But I'll stay on Amazon ordering stuff. Probably use this thing one time. But it, I guess, helps remove the universal joints without you beating on them and stuff like that. So I'm going to get it set up. I'm going to get the heat set up in here. Probably go in the house, make me another cup of coffee. Try to get this took off and do my little research on it and see if I can save some money, man. But don't forget, like, share, subscribe, rock with me, see what we got going on, because we just trying to keep our old schools rolling, have a little, good time, and make them go fast and just have fun, man. That's all we trying to do. Stay with us. Apes in there rocking with me and hanging in there with me. As you're gonna see on the queso, what we did was bust the tail shaft housing down. I did make the discovery that there was an O-ring up in there. The new one that I have is a little bit too long and the end is beveled. So what I'm gonna try to do is cut it down a little bit and give it enough play to work back and forth. And then we're gonna go from there to make sure it doesn't go back too far and knock the inside of the center of the yoke out. So I might cut it a little under. We're gonna try something, man. I got it bust down. You'll see that on the case. I'm taking it out of there. Everything fit up under the car perfect. It's just now, it's going to be a matter of getting this end cut off. And I need an extension cord, but what I might do is shut down shop for a minute until I get this cut. I'll take you over here and show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut off a little bit longer, and then I'm just gonna trim it down. Shut the heat down for a second. Actually need to use the cord. But I'm gonna trim it a little bit longer than I need it. That way I can just keep on trimming off versus cutting too much off and then being pretty much out of luck. I just didn't like the way the guy was trying to upsell me. Things could still eventually end up going wrong. I don't know, but I'd rather try this than spend that much money right now on a budget build, something I'm not gonna be driving in the middle of the winter. It's not a necessity, so can't really take from my kid's mouth just this second to work on the toy that I got. But stay locked in. I'm about to get the queso set up and we're going to try and get this end off of here. 2 seconds. We'll take you over here. Show you what I'm working with. Gotta get my other tools. Take you over here, show you what I'm working with, then I'm gonna turn this queso in and we're gonna try to get this thing cut. But right now, I took a measurement on there, marked the spot. I'm gonna put it in the vise, get the cutter. We about to try to cut the top off of that, man. Stay tuned. Be back in the building. Okay, what I've done so far, what I'm getting ready to do, I took I had a little grinder wheel and I cut the excess off. I took a measurement. It's still a little bit longer than the original. This is the original. What I'm about to do now is just file this edge down, clean up a couple of these teeth, and then get it a little bit smoother and try to clean up around the outside of this. I'm gonna get my wire wheel, put on the end of the spray gun, put a little PB blast on there and deep creep, get that end cleared up. I'm gonna try to slide it up in place and see how far it go. Right now, I got the tail shaft to the point where I can pull right back off. And when I pull it off, that's gonna let me know if it's going up and hitting the teeth. What I don't want it to do is go too far up and hit the teeth on the around the spline. So what I may do, if I could get slick and work the schematics right, I'd rather get it right from this point and move back versus having them cut it a little bit shorter to do all that. I never want to go too short because it's an aluminum drive shaft and I don't have time for them trying to upcharge me like they just previously did. If you listen in, don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Right now, we're gonna clean the end up. I got my file and we're gonna come in here and do a test fit. I gotta hook the queso up, battery died out on me. We're gonna get up under there, do a test fit, see how it works, take the tail shaft off, and if everything is everything, we're gonna get that piece up in the transmission. I'm gonna get the universal joint off the back, and I'm gonna get back down there, drop it off, and have them redo the measurements with that yoke slid up in there as far as it goes. So stay tuned, stay rocking with me, because we're about to get this thing cleaned off, do a little bit of fouling, get those teeth straightened out, and get back to it. Stay with us. 8 members, man. Today, I have to say, not necessarily was a unsuccessful day, but right now I'm gonna end the video out. We was messing with the Impala trying to get the drive shaft work and having to cut and go through a bunch of stuff. If you watch early on in the video when I was I went on a baby rant, I ain't gonna lie. I was a little upset with the price that they were charging me to do some truck was in the wrong gear. I was a little upset with the price that they were charging me to do some work. So I went home and made some stuff happen When I went back down to the store, I could tell by the guy's face, they were a little upset that I not only cut the cost in half, but I think I shaved off a little bit more than half. So now it's a matter of them trying to figure out how much more they can upsell or charge me, because there's certain stuff I don't need them to do now because I went around it. Tomorrow we're going to find out what the deal is, but for now I'm going to end the video. We just, taking measurements and running into more issues after issues, man. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe to your boy to see what we got going on. We ain't the top dogs out here. We ain't got the fastest. We ain't got the prettiest cars. But, hey, for the little dogs that's out there and the learners and the DIYers, we just trying to make a way out of no way, man. Trying to make it happen. We out of here.